Messing around. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to The Mess Around.
The Mess Around.
I am Hannah, and she is Lamorne. And together we make Hannah and Lamorne. So last week was a continuation episode from the finale of the week prior. And there's a lot of themes that are carrying over from these episodes. One of which is Schmidt doing the whole juggle situation, and Nick and Jess are new, blah 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 blah. So we're gonna dive right into episode 302, Nerd, if you'll have us.
Nerd, written by Kay Cannon.
Oh, and directed by Fred Goss.
Love them both. Love Fred.
Hot Goss. That's what we used to call him. Hot Goss.
Hot Goss. That's
Hot
right.
Goss. Okay, so in this episode, Jess is having a hard time fitting in with the cool teachers at school. So she wrongly turns to Nick for advice. What a dummy. Shocker, his plan involves booze. Now, Schmidt finds himself in a chaotic love triangle when Cece and Elizabeth both show up for his office work party. Oh my gosh, what a dork. Meanwhile, back at the loft, Winston is plotting how to kill Ferguson the cat after learning Daisy has been cheating on him.
Great episode. Great episode.
And as we said before, Fred Goss, director, writer, Kay Cannon. So let us dive right into it. So they're at the breakfast table. Schmidt asks Cece if he can start calling her Shouty in public. Then he invites her to his work party.
Have you ever legitimately called a girl Shouty?
Hell no.
Boo thing?
No, I have not. Have you ever been called that before?
No.
Even when you dated Kanye? No. All right. I'm gonna let that one go.
We have to pick a new person
but
that
I don't
we
know
can have a low key prank rumor about. I think I told you once. Oh, yeah, I already talked about this on the pod, but it still makes me laugh every time that I ran late once to something and I sat with an agent and they were like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, sorry, I was just like on a date with Lenny Kravitz, but like I'm here." Assuming that they would like bust out and fall down laughing. And they were just like, "Oh, cool. Like how's Lenny?" He's like, "So cool." And I was like, "What? I could never date Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz." And they looked at me like, "No, like for sure you could date Lenny Kravitz."
Like,
and it changed my brain. I was like, "Wait, what?
That's
Are you
possible?
serious? This is a possibility?" Kanye's not on the list, so we got to come up with someone else for the joke for season 3. Because it ain't Kanye.
I got a few ideas.
Right,
Guillermo del Toro.
Great.
Guillermo del Toro. We could say Bo Jackson, former baseball and football player. We can say
I'll tell you something real funny, and then we have to dive in because this is a great episode. I'll tell you real funny. Once I got a call and someone said, "Would you like we've got a I don't know what the word is, but Matt Kemp would like to take you out on a date."
That's funny.
And he had just broken up with, or been broken up with, I don't know how it went, with Rihanna. And I said, "No." And they're like, "You don't want to go on a date with Matt Kemp?" I was like, "That man, the last person he was with was Rihanna. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want that to be what I'm being compared to. Have you seen Rihanna? No." I was like, "But if Rihanna wants to go on a date." All right. Okay. So Schmidt's phone rings and we see
Matt
this
Kemp.
from.
I'm going to text him.
See if it's true. I mean, I remember it came through someone else. See if that story's true on his end, because that was how it came through on my end. Phone rings. He gets a call from Elizabeth, and Schmidt says it's his Dr. Cover.
Dr. Cover. Dr.
So
Weiland
funny.
Cover.
Weiland Cover.
Oh, gosh.
And then Winston does another trait that he steals straight out of the Hannah Simone handbook.
Okay. Yes, let's talk about it.
And offers to cat sit.
See,
By the way, my dream.
sit.
I'll cat sit anybody's cat. Love
Would
it.
you
Bring him
really?
over. Meow, meow. Let's go.
That's disgusting.
Why?
Well, because cats are violent. Like you said, they took a chunk out of your leg.
I knew I was going to regret telling that
I'm
story.
just saying. And the cat's done the same thing to me. So, out of my chest, actually.
This episode does not show video footage of cats being an animal that you would willingly want in your home with the flashbacks of Schmidt.
Yeah. Ooh. He actually shot that.
I know.
With cats licking his nipples.
I know. So what did they put on his nipples?
I think
catnip?
It was like...
They can't put catnip. They would have chewed him right off.
I think it was like peanut butter. No, I forget what
That's
it was.
That's a dog.
That's a dog?
Cats
I don't know.
We got peanut butter.
Maybe it was tuna. Some sort of like fish juice.
But they would start chewing on his nipples.
Oh, gosh. Oh, maybe they gave him the teethless cats. The ones that look all cute with no teeth.
You're trying to think about the hairless cats?
Hairless and teethless. The elderly teethless
just a geriatric cat. They're kittens. Yeah, the whole point was they were kittens.
Just stunted.
Geriatric kittens. What do you... It's a special breed for TV of geriatric kittens.
Kids. Oh, man.
Okay, so Winston asks if they know anything about cats because he's going to watch Daisy's cat to score some points.
Yep.
And Schmidt hates cats because they're obsessed with him and his nipples.
And then nothing comes
Then they
out,
had to show it.
Yes. Now, Nick is in the bathroom right now. He's helping Jess with her bangs.
By the way, I love that moment because every morning I'm always like that. And I talk to my bangs because if they don't cooperate, it's very frustrating. And there was this moment where she's like, come on, bangs. And I was like, oh, this is real. It's a real struggle.
That's one hairstyle I've never had was the bangs.
So shocking.
I know. A lot of people have commented on that in the past, but I think I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen soon.
Wow.
Next episode, I'll have bangs.
You're gonna show up with bangs?
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. I just gotta let my my doctor in Turkey know.
Can I get 9 files?
Yeah,
just right here at my eyebrows only.
Just right here. Oh man, out here looking like Drake.
I'm crying today.
Okay.
She's trying to put herself together because she's been at her new school for a week. And she hasn't made any friends because there's like this cool clique of teachers. Yep. And they do this cutaway, and it's like all of our sweet, lovely friends that we love so much is in this group.
Oh yeah.
My beloved Angela Kinsey, who I love so much, who, by the way, fun fact, is one of the reasons we even have this podcast.
That's true. That's true.
Because I remember calling her and talking to her because she has office ladies, of course, and she so generously gave us some great advice on how to do a great rewatch podcast. So shout out Angela. Nice little crossover a couple times now between the new girl and the office world.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The only thing they were missing is putting one of us on The Office. They never did.
Wasn't that a thing with Zoe? She got offered
before New Girl. She got offered The Office.
That's right, like a recurring role on The Office, and she also got offered this pilot. Yes. True sliding doors moment in life between The Office and New Girl, and this is another one. And to have Angela on the show was pretty cool because obviously The Office is amazing and Angela's amazing. Dreama, part of that gang. So many amazing actors pop up in this episode. Season 3, strong. Came on. Oh yeah,
I love when they go back to these school episodes so we could see whatever fun characters are going to pop up because they're usually home run hitters. So
she also is one of the nicest people, Angela, but she also has as an actor one of the best resting bitch faces ever, which is so funny if you know her in person because she's the kindest person.
Yeah.
Which I also have, I think, a pretty strong resting bitch face. And so I was so happy to see her sitting on the couch being like,
nobody's taking your resting bitch face seriously, Hannah.
What? People all the time are just like, Hannah looks so annoyed. She was so quiet. And I'm like, oh, no, that's just my face.
No, Hannah, you're very Canadian. Your resting bitch face is very apologetic and very...
It's my I'm so sorry face. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, eager and apologetic. Oh, wow.
Oh, I'll take that. All right. Yeah, I'll take it. I haven't heard that before, but I'll take it. That's a nice switch from what I usually hear.
Yeah, you don't scare me.
So there's this great elevator scene.
No, I think what happens is he walked in the front room earlier when he asked. Now he's in the bathroom asking. Now he's asking Jess and Nick.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
There we go.
He's flailing. Winston is flailing, right? Because he knows nothing about cats, kind of like you. So he's just like asking everybody at every point, help me.
Help me.
Help me with these cats. Help me with these cats.
Yeah. And I remember, I love when Jess goes, oh, Schmidt has the cutest cat story. And then we start the flashback and we both stop it immediately because we heard it already.
Yeah.
And then Schmidt goes by. He goes, nothing came out. Grow up. Nothing came out.
The idea of male lactation being introduced into a comedy made me laugh so hard. I was like, what a bit. My other favorite bit was Nick talking how he has $15.50 because he's got a torn $1 bill. One of the funniest things too about how he operates like a little kid.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Be like, it's half. I got half of it. What world are you living in? Such a great Nickism. Loved it. So you have to read this part because it's so funny. Winston tells the boys he's going to ask Daisy to be his girlfriend, and he says,
my heart is a 2-man bike, and I want you in the rear.
I can't. I genuinely can't.
Winston don't be workshopping some stuff. He don't workshop. I think if he would workshop that, unless, because remember, even Schmidt at one point when he's describing his relationship with Elizabeth says, he's like a socket. Sometimes he gets entered and sometimes she gets entered.
Oh my God.
I'm saying maybe Winston's trying to tell you guys something in this moment.
Something. I don't know. Yeah. But it was one of the funniest things where you're just like, you need to say it. You need to say it out loud. I'll tell you a really quick story. I remember being in London with my best friend who's from North London. His name is Elia. And we were on the train, on the underground, and we're reading the paper. And there's a story about Thailand, right? And we're quiet. We're all just sitting there. We're sitting next to each other, packed train, reading the paper together, right? This little travel section, Thailand. And all of a sudden, Aaliyah, who's from North London, so they speak in a specific way, goes loudly, okay, ugh, I want to go Bangkok. And I said, what? And he goes, I want to go Bangkok. And I go, Aaliyah. He goes, oh, what, Hannah? He goes, we're not all as well traveled as you, okay? You're not going to shame me because I want to go Bangkok, okay? I do. I've always dreamed of it, and that's where I want to go. And I said, no. And he goes, you're laughing at me. And I said, no. I said, please stop, because everyone's watching us fight on the train now. And I was like, no. Let me say it. I'm going to say it in my voice. Hear what you're saying. And he goes, what? And I went, I want to go Bangkok. And he went, oh.
And he goes, that's not what I meant. I want to go suck a penis.
It was one of the funniest moments ever in my life. And it's exactly like this moment.
Oh, that's funny.
My gosh, this Winston moment. I want you in the rear. Now I'm going to say it to you. Listen to me say it. Yes. Hear it. Don't say it. Hear it. So funny. Such a funny moment that follows through this episode. So funny.
Oh man. And then meanwhile, we're back in the lounge. So Jess comes in and she's trying to fit in, remember? So and prior to this, she got advice from Nick. And,
the school lounge. She's in this teacher's lounge.
So now she's in the teacher's lounge and she's like, I got laid this morning from my boyfriend. And then Nick walks in. And honestly, it's a pretty genius move. He comes in and he offers them free school supplies.
Free school supplies. So smart.
He's got one notebook. And I'm not sure if you noticed, he has one notebook and a couple pencils or something.
That's right. Which I feel like he probably just took off a desk on his way in. I don't think he spent any of his own money. But that's not what sways the teachers. No. What sways the teachers is genius move. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Free drinks.
Free drinks
at his bar. Teachers drink for free, which is awesome. And Jess, lets him know that was an amazing move, sex partner. And we'll see where that goes a little bit later. Now, meanwhile, Schmidt is back at his office, and he's showing Elizabeth his office, which is an exact 2/3 replica of Don Draper's office from Mad Men. And the door won't close all the way, which I think is really funny and fitting. Now, Bethany, his co-worker, is always giving him a hard time. She's always being a little asshole.
It's Ava
Schmidt.
Murray.
Yeah, and
The
she
Ava
crushes
Murray.
it. And so she asked if he invited Elizabeth to the office party, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I was just about to ask, but prior to that, he had already asked Cece."
Bethany is stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot. Now here we go again. Now this one right here, before it starts, if you watch enough television, you know where this is headed, right?
Sure.
But you don't. But it's always interesting to see how the writers figure out a way to get a person out of something. You know what I mean? Like, if they're at the same office, what's he gonna do? And we'll talk about it. But he does some of the most ridiculous things, and it works. And it works.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
so now he's in a conundrum. He's got both of them coming thanks to Bethany.
And,
so now we go back to Daisy's apartment.
Yeah. So
this is also the funniest thing.
Oh my God. So she and I remember the name of those shoes too. Those are massive size 15 shoes, and it's a brand called Creative Rec. I'm not sure if they still make shoes, but back in the day, I used to wear them like crazy. Even in the previous episode, when my shoes were brown, or they were green, but I thought they were brown, those were also Creative Rec.
Get out of
Creative
town.
Recreation, yeah. Still love those shoes. I still have a few pair here, actually. I haven't worn them in years, but yeah. Anyway, he goes there, and he's going to go pick the cat up, but he hears the shower running, and he asks, is that your shower running? She's like, yep. I'm about to take a shower. He's, oh, okay. And then he looks down, and there's these size 15 shoes on the ground. And she's like, oh, yeah, those are mine. And then the shower turns off.
Then the toilet flushes.
Oh, gosh.
Someone in there? Nope. Unbelievable.
And the fact that Winston still was like, yeah, I'll still help you out. I'll still babysit your cat while you get, 15'd. Like, that's crazy that he would do that. And what I found to be even more crazy is that she was just like it was so, she didn't meet him in the hallway. She didn't do anything. She was just like, come on in. And her face was very much so like, I don't see what the problem is.
What's so crazy to me is that I think what she thought was like, I'm going to just give you this cat and you're going to be gone. She has no respect for him. She doesn't care.
No.
Take the cat. Gotta go. And then he is trying to do this big speech of like, we're going to be exclusive. This is, this big meaningful moment. And she doesn't really have time for it. She didn't plan for it. She didn't adjust for him to have some big emotional thing. Just take the cat and go, please. Yeah. Bye-bye. Leave. I think that's where that disconnect happened.
Sometimes you're just so excited about what's about to happen to you. That's probably what she was thinking. It's just like, hurry up and go. I don't care, Winston. I got Shaq. I got Shaq in the shower, Okay, so now
we're back in the bar.
Back in the bar.
And Nick clocks what's really going on and why Jess is not gelling. It's because she's the nerd.
She's the nerd.
And then she's like, I was never a nerd. And then the two greatest flashbacks.
Yes.
So funny. Her singing in a medieval wardrobe.
Yes.
At the talent show.
The Spring Sing annual talent show. Oh, man. And then Nick, then they flash back to Nick in college in tie-dye.
In the Miller sack pack.
Fun fact, that was not a real hacky sack, you guys. That was all visual effects.
What are you talking about?
No, he wasn't really hacky sacking.
You don't think so?
I know it wasn't.
I feel like Jake has those skills. I feel like he had a hacky sack background.
No. He was one of those
sack, man. Think about that. Who came up with that as a thing?
Somebody who couldn't play soccer. Somebody who couldn't make the team. They were like, well, whatever.
I'm just going to put some beans in a tiny ball, and we can only use like our ankles and chests. Go. And stand in a circle.
And in Nick's case, also your elbow you can use because he catches it on
Elbows,
his elbow.
that's true. Any of your pointy bits, don't.
Oh, boy. I didn't say it.
Moving along. Okay.
Plowing ahead.
We're back in the bar. She's like, okay, fine. Watch me. I'm not a nerd.
Wait. Before we go forward. This is something that we never capitalized on. And I've seen a lot of like fan merch out there on like Etsy and all these different places. The Miller Sack Pack says they made shirts. I haven't seen a single fan make Miller Sack Pack shirts.
I mean, it's a fun one. I'd wear a Miller Sack Pack. That's so funny.
It'd be a deep cut. I wonder if for the fans out there, go ahead and make these shirts. Make these shirts. I will buy one. I will wear one. Do your thing. But buy our merch first.
Sack Pack.
Yeah. So Nick tells her not to follow her instincts, do not sing, instead make fun of her principal and drink a lot.
Like a lot.
A lot. And then that's kind of what happens, right?
Yeah.
Jess,
she gets hammered. Yeah.
You know, as one does when they drink too much. Drink responsibly, folks. Drink responsibly. They show the flashback was funny, though. And the flashback was also disgusting, where she's in the toilet just splashing around.
Like stomping grape style. Like just smashing it in.
But even when you look at the bathroom, this is how great set design is. That's all paint and like set deck when they make the bathroom look that seedy and dirty. Mm-hmm. That's probably a brand new toilet.
Sure.
It's super, never been touched before. And they add like dingy paint around and make it look. Now, for me personally, even knowing that it's set deck, I can't touch it. I can't be around it.
You know, it's funny. On Not Dead Yet, Gina and I had to do a scene in a really gross dive bar. Mm-hmm. And they put like skid marks in the toilet paper crumpled on the floor. Like the wash basin, like we wash your hands, was all like scuffed and gross. And I know, and there's drinks everywhere, like half drinks that had like lipstick, like they really went for it on Not Dead Yet. And I had to go shoot the scene, and I had to be hiding in the toilet stall, right? And then she was like out, and then I hear her, and then we have our scene in the bathroom. And I was standing in this toilet stall, and I was getting so grossed out. Because you're just like in a dirty toilet, and it was so gross, even though I know. Like you're saying, it's all new, and it's paint and markers. But somehow it does. It turns your stomach.
Yeah,
awesome.
100%.
Incredible teams of people who do that.
Yes, 100%. And so Nick, so now, you know, Jess is sitting there. She's on the bed.
The next morning. Yeah.
The next morning.
Next morning. Now, I also love a responsible Nick Miller. Always makes me laugh when he's got to be the responsible one. Mm-hmm. Does not come naturally.
Not at all. Not at all. But meanwhile, you know, this is a group setting. So obviously Schmidt comes in and tells Nick that he has a problem. Winston also comes in the room crying and is acting like he's not crying, but he's very visibly crying. And Jess is passed out. So they both are curious if Nick killed her. And then, so they all jump on the bed in order to get her up. And then, more R. Kelly.
More R. Kelly.
More R. Kelly. That's right. R. Kelly got paid from this show. I don't know the exact amount, but I'm sure it was a lot of money in order to sing that song.
Good Lord.
I Believe I Could Fly. Which I'm shocked. We should have just sang a bunch of Zoe songs and like got it for a discount. That would have been nice. Mm-hmm. Or one of her exes who was in the band. We could have just been like, let's get one of their songs.
Can we just
one of your
one,
exes. One of your exes.
We're learning things. Season 3, we're learning things.
Yeah. And yeah, so which is and I do love this advice. And it was actually I'm not sure if this was on brand for Schmidt when he says to Nick, you know, you're supposed to protect Jess, not encourage.
Also, by the irony while you're sitting there dating and lying to 2 women. Yeah. So I think you could take your little soapbox, you know, push it to the side today. Of all days, hypocrisy is what's happening.
Oh, yeah. Hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
So let's, and then, you know, finally, before we go to break, Winston finally confesses that Daisy is cheating on him.
Thankfully, by the way, right? Because it felt like he was a little slow on the uptake.
Yeah, like that's a man in there, bruh. That's a whole man in there, dog. A whole man, or just a real tall woman with big feet. It's one of the two. Either way, she ain't with you.
That's right.
So let's go to a break, and then when we come back, there is a segment in this show in which we will skip.
Yep. We have come up with a plan for Where's the Bear, you guys. We're going to do a standalone episode where I make my point, but I cannot do this tit for tat battle with you week to week.
It's so hard to say goodbye to Smokey the Bear.
See you after the break.
And we are back.
We're back, and we are right in the Cece photo shoot. Another weird photo shoot for Cece. This time it's they cover in honey and then release the bees.
Release the bees.
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah. But Schmidt comes there to like in person too. I love how he didn't call her. He just like, I'm gonna show up to her job. It's a good way to show how ridiculous your job is.
I mean, also season 3 reference, kind of what happened with Prince. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people just show up at your job. Some people show up at your job. So he shows up and says I remember Max saying cigads. And I was like, wait, what? What is this word? The fact that he shortened significant others. He's trying to uninvite her to the work party, but he calls it, there's no cigads. And she, by the way, is super cool.
Yeah.
She's real cool about it. She's like, no worries. It's fine. I'm cool. He then calls her Shouty. And then leaves her at the photo shoot. And so he's like, all right, problem solved. I crushed it.
He thinks
I got out of it again. I've dodged it again.
Thinks he's in the clear, this old D-bag. Now, meanwhile, back at the loft, Winston, he's having the discussion now, finally. He's airing it out with Nick that Daisy is cheating on him. Nick is confused because she also agreed to be exclusive with Winston while there's a guy she is sleeping with that's currently in her shower with his size 15 ding-dong. Nick is like, bruh, you gotta break up with her. But Winston, he's a genius. Winston was thinking instead that he just kill Ferguson.
He just wants to send a message. He's so brokenhearted. He's like, what can I do to hurt her? That because I'm so hurt, I'm gonna kill your cat. Which I would like to say is like, it's like the first marker of a serial killer. Mm-hmm. I would just like to
killing
say,
animals.
That the fact that it was his first thought, which also now pushes our very responsible Nick Miller into now having to be responsible for 2 people that are acting way out of line, which I love. So
he's doing
funny.
double duty outside of his comfort zone.
That's right.
Advice, etc. When it's usually the other way around. Now, Jess, she walks into the teacher's room with sunglasses on.
Mm-hmm.
And
hung
clearly
all the way over.
Smacked.
Yeah.
She is smacked. And the cool
this is
teachers
why there
call
shouldn't
her.
be like, look, I'm all for teachers having a good time, but man, you're going to go hard. You got to show up to work and teach little children.
Go hard on Friday or Saturday.
That's
Don't do
right.
it on Sunday.
You can't be hungover at the school. You
Yeah.
can't rock sunglasses all day.
Yeah.
The teachers
I
have
took
given
mine
her a
off.
nickname now, Toilet Pants.
Toilet pants. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one.
But they unlock the Holy Grail for her, which is the cabinet of fun mugs.
Fun mugs. Do you have any fun mugs?
Yeah, I got a bunch of weird little fun mugs.
I got a few. I got quite a few.
You do?
Yeah, I have a bunch of BMO mugs. If you want one, Bank of Montreal. Shout out to BMO.
BMO mugs. I
BMO
feel like
mugs.
anytime you do like a late night talk show, they always give you like a good mug.
Oh yeah.
Those are always the best mugs.
I know. I got some Kimmel mugs. I got a Conan. I got a Queen Latifah mug. Arsenio mug. Yeah, I got some cool mugs. I have a mug that my niece gave me for a birthday present, and it is a toilet bowl. So imagine drinking coffee out of that thing.
I could not do it. The brown water.
The brown water. You're like,
no.
Why would she do this?
Then you got to make it like frothy with the milk. No.
Yeah, Anissa,
that's a fun
prank.
You. That's a good gift to give a family member, and then watch them drink out of it, being like, "I love it."
Gross. Look at your coffee. Amazing. It's chunky. Okay, so let's see. Where are we right now? Oh my gosh. So back at the loft, Nick walks in on Winston, who's made up his mind. Yeah. He's now fully going. It wasn't just talk. He's trying to.
He had a
straight up noose. He had a noose. He had all kinds of devices trying to let Ferguson choose his path.
It was very dark, you guys.
It was. When I say dark, even I was like, whoa, this is...
No, it was very like Silence of the Lambs, kind of like, I'm going to kill you. You get to choose which horrifying, painful way you'd like to go. I was like, what are we learning about Winston? Like, what is he watching? What is he reading? Somebody help this man.
Yeah, he's whatever.
It wasn't like he just was like, I'll kill the cat. He was just like, I'm going to make this long and drawn out and you're going to choose it. I was like, sorry. Yeah. But really, I think deep down what that was for Winston, he's just a delay tactic, right? He doesn't want to kill the cat. So he's just like sitting here trying to figure out how to delay the situation.
Right, 100%.
That's right.
Winston is a sweetheart. And I think it's these moments in which he can't even pretend to be this way. He can't. He's trying, but it's not.
He's trying.
He's like, I got to get him to get out of that Sunday.
Well, he's trying to be ruthless, Like Daisy's being pretty ruthless with him. So I think he's just trying to like match the energy. But of course, in classic Winston fashion, it's too big. It's too much.
It's too much. It's too much, man. Okay, so now Jess lets Nick know that the cool teachers are going to break into the principal's house and put their butts in his jacuzzi.
What's happening here?
Nick is like, that's a crime. You can't do that. Again, off-brand for Nick. We think, one would think that he would be
But in a jacuzzi would be like a Nick Miller, weekly thing. Like, this feels like so in his wheelhouse, which is why I love a responsible Nick Miller. Him having to be like, don't go put your butt in your boss's jacuzzi.
It's a straight up Jake Johnson thing. Jake is always in his jacuzzi, smoking cigars and drinking scotch every night. That's what he does.
Well, it reminded me of the that really famous SNL sketch with Will Ferrell, where he gets them in the hot tub.
Was it?
And it's like super uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
The funniest. The funniest sketch ever. I feel like that's where like this all heads to at the end of the episode is like the inspiration from that SNL sketch.
Oh,
One
probably.
of the best.
Probably.
So
you said
funny.
Kay Cannon. You said Kay Cannon wrote this. Did she write on SNL or was it 30 Rock?
30 Rock.
Okay.
30 Rock.
Yeah. This part is I love Jake's performance in this moment where Jess is like, no, I'm going. Winston is like, no, I'm killing this cat. He has a shovel in his hand. So he can't quite figure out like who to stop. Like, because he's watching two idiots about to do something very stupid.
One runs out the door. One's trying to murder a cat.
Yeah.
Only one Nick Miller.
Yeah. He's like, don't walk like that. Don't you want to
do that scary walk.
Don't do that scary walk. Oh, man. And he improvised that. Definitely an improvised line.
I think you were just running also, by the way. It wasn't like you were doing something crazy exaggerated. I was like, it was also funny. I was like, I think that's just Winston running down the hall, but okay. I also love when just before she runs out the door and slams it, she's like, because she's now like, this bad girl character. So she's like, if I don't come home, I'll be at the Appleton Suites under the name Suzuki Sinclair.
I wonder how many people have used that name.
It's a good one.
Suzuki Sinclair. I can almost guarantee you, because we've got some pretty loyal fans, and they are well more versed on this show than even we are. And I can almost guarantee you, someone has used Suzuki Sinclair
for
as
sure.
an alias.
If not, they should make that your alias.
Yeah, I'm gonna start using Rear Admiral J. Roger Root. Is that what it's called? I'm gonna start using Theodore K. Mullins as my
Theodore K. Mullins.
Yeah.
Also great names. Didn't they used to say that Berkeley Johnson was the guy? A writer on New Girl. He was the guy that always would just come up with like the best names.
The best names.
He was like
yeah.
So I wonder if Suzuki Sinclair was a Berkeley Johnson.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say yes.
Okay.
Suzuki Sinclair.
Suzuki Sinclair. So we're at the work party. Schmidt is talking with Elizabeth when all of a sudden Cece appears. So he shoves Elizabeth into the stairwell. Cece says she quit her job, probably because of those bees. And she had to come see Schmidt. He brings her to his office and tells her to stay there. And Bethany, of course, is delighted because finally she's going to watch this man burn to the ground. And I will share a little behind the scenes thing that was happening. So we shot those scenes, that office work party, at the New Girl offices. That's where all the writers were, producers were. Astrat, Associated Strategies office was the New Girl offices. So
also,
they all had to kind of
Always
clear
Sunny
out.
in Philadelphia offices too, right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, on the other side, right, of the hallway.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Yeah. On that floor. Anyway, it's on the Fox lot, and I'll remember two things. I remember Ava, Murray, and I were like in a makeshift green room waiting. I guess maybe Schmidt was doing his scenes with Elizabeth. And so we were just like kicking it for a minute, talking, and she has literally the best arms. She has the most toned, gorgeous arms I'd ever seen. And I remember she said she didn't really like to work out, and I was like, how do these are not just like you're walking around with these things. You did something to make them look like that. And she told me that on YouTube there is the Tracy Anderson arm workout. It's 7 minutes, and she just would do it every day. And it was 7 minutes long. And that's like transformed her art. Look at you. You're like, I'm going to do it. So you think 7 minutes, right? You think like no big deal. And I have tried it. I challenge you, honestly, to see if you can get past minute 5 without being like, I cannot do this anymore. It is
Hannah, you've seen my arms.
Yeah, I know.
For all the fans out there, you've seen my arms. I can do it.
I want you to set up a camera, record 7 minute videos, see if you
My
can.
cameras don't record that long. Mine's going to stop at minute 2. The camera stops at minute 2, not me.
And it's like with, I don't even know, 2-pound weights, nothing. You're laughing. You think it's easy. I remember her telling me that. And I was like, all right, 7 minutes a day. I can do it. I think I tried it twice and I was like, this is a joke. This is so hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember being in a green room with Ava and her giving me that little workout tip. And I was like, no, I can't. I'm weak. You're strong.
So now, back at the loft, Winston is about to suffocate Ferguson with a pillow and give him what he likes to call the long nap. But he can't bring himself to do it. You know? We realize in this moment who Winston truly is.
Yeah.
He's a hero. He just saved that cat's life.
That's right.
He's a hero.
From himself.
Yeah, but he still saved the cat's life. Meanwhile,
so we go back to this party. Yeah. And Schmidt is trying to get Elizabeth to leave early by role playing.
Yes. What does he say? Her character is the first
Hong
to leave
Kong
the party.
Time?
Yes.
She's on Hong Kong time and has to get up early. So what turns him on is if she's the first to leave the party. Sir, I can't.
Oh, God.
But she sees Cece because Bethany yanks Cece into the eye line. And then he does Cece so dirty. She's like, well, modeling's not going great.
No, she's the caterer.
No, she's the caterer.
Yeah.
Then he's like, I should go over. She's on hard times. Let me go talk to her. Then convinces Cece to put on the apron because of the no sig uths rule, also made up. And she goes along with it. Wild. absolutely wild tap dance at this party.
Yeah, because remember earlier, you see an episode like this and you go, I know where this is going. How is Kate Cannon going to get us out of this?
Right.
And shockingly, she makes it happen because he even, even to Bethany's surprise, she's like, wow, how did he do that? Because he gets her to leave. He gets Cece and somehow it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works out, which is so strange. Very stupid, but it works.
Yeah. They're
at the principal's house, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the door is locked to the jacuzzi. So Jess is like, I'll go in. She hops
they have to go over the gate. Yeah.
And can't get it open. And Nick shows up.
Yeah, she gets boosted over the fence. Then he gets a boost.
Over the fence, yep.
Apparently she's a little handsy. I think that was the implication as he's getting boosted.
Get that tank grabbed. You know what I mean? Like when someone get your tank grabbed, it hurts a little bit. So
he gets boosted over to the jacuzzi, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. And then when Principal Foster comes outside, automatically I know the creep is on. The creep is on. He decides to take his clothes off and he's like, come on now. Come on, kids, jump on in the jacuzzi. And which I gotta say is not bad. It's like, if you're going to break into someone's house and they're like, well, you try to break into my home, just sit in the jacuzzi with me. I'm like,
you know what? It feels like old school advice. I don't know if you've heard this old school advice, but like if you're like walking and someone comes up and is like totally crazy at you, like obviously something is not right.
You be crazy back.
That's right. Be crazier back. And so if two people break into your backyard, just out crazy them. Just be like, now let's get naked and be together. So maybe it was that. He was just like, listen, I don't know what you two are up to right now, but let's go. I'm just going to like one up the energy. It also was right before the principal walks out, a really sweet Nick Jess moment, which is really nice because he's not there to like stop her. He's not there to like reprimand her. He's not there to whatever. He's just like, man, if you're going to do something stupid, I'm going to be right there with you. I'm not going to let you do it alone. And it's really, really sweet. Like, it's wonderful. I was like, oh, that was a really nice little bonding moment. And where you see these, like all these guys are all so crazy on the show sometimes, but like you see this like real, like true line heart of Nick. Yeah. And it was really sweet. I like that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Now,
all right, then the bubbles are bubbling, the tiki torches go on, the music starts playing, and now
sick setup, by the way. Hit one button and the jacuzzi comes on, and the torches pop up,
and the music, and everything, and the bubbles bubble.
I need to get my backyard on. I need to get my backyard
That's what you need.
together.
You need a one touch, pump, the whole vibe changes.
Oh my gosh,
that should be the button. Vibe change.
Vibe change.
Bam.
So Daisy comes to the loft to pick up Ferguson. And Winston just straight up asked her, even though he knows the answer already, was there a dude in the shower? And she, without flinching, admits there was a dude that she had sex with both before and after.
She goes like, no. Oh, wait. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. I did have sex with him. No. And I love it so much because as a viewer, you think, it's going to be like her tall WNBA aunt. Like they're going to do something, right, that makes Winston look crazy. And I love that moment. I truly feel like this is one of the reasons of the many, but that New Girl is so great, is they keep that stuff so real. No, I am just sleeping with this huge dude. End of. Yeah. That's it. Not much more complicated than that. And I love it. And they make it funny because they do these tiny misdirects, but they don't go deep with it. She like tries to lie and then she can't even be bothered. And it's so funny and so real.
Oh, yeah. And then
she's come to get her cat back.
She comes to get her cat back. She admits to cheating.
Yes.
And Winston's like, I can do better. And then he says, so does Ferguson, and proceeds to steal her cat and slams the door in her face.
Best moment for Winston Bishop. Worst moment for Lamorne Morris, because now he has to act
with this cat.
Often.
You know, I'll say I got used to Ferguson over time, but in the beginning, he was very handsy. He would scratch a lot. And I was also allergic.
They picked a very unique cat.
Yeah. And people think I hate cats. I don't hate cats. I hate their abilities. You know, they leap so effortlessly across any room. I once saw a cat leap across the ocean. I saw it with my own eyes. Just flew off of a boat onto the shore. And I was like, interesting. How come we can't do that as humans? And that pissed me off.
You're jealous.
No, I mean,
feline jealousy, man. There's a support group for that.
I got to tap into my feline energy. And when I do that, I'm going to be unstoppable. Okay, so back at the office, Bethany, she admits that Schmidt won and that both girls really love him. At school, the cool teachers, they thank Jess for taking the bullet for them, and they want to go and do some liquid ecstasy and grade papers. And I'm proud of her because she said, you know what? Nay, I'm going to go hang out with my old man. Good old
And
Nick
they really
Miller.
did like a little James Dean shot of him through the window on the convertible, flicking his hacky sack like it was a baseball, you know what I mean? Just like it was real, like a real sweet way they framed that shot and did that. Shout out to Fred Gass again for, I guess, having that little vantage point on it. But it was real sweet. It made them look like an old school cool couple. But
I'll tell you that Nick in that moment with the hacky sack is the real Nick. That's the real Jake. Mm-hmm. I told you he can't really hacky sack. The flashback is CGI. Those are all visual effects. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why we have to stop AI from taking over our business, or people like Jake Johnson will look like he knows how to hacky sack. Instead of casting an actor who really knows how to hacky sack.
Got it. Okay.
There's so many unemployed hacky sack artists out there.
That's what they're coming for. They want to make sure everybody looks pro hacky sack. Mm-hmm. We got to get ahead of it. You're right.
Okay. Now, in conclusion, Nick tells Jess when they're at the car that he would have noticed her.
Yeah.
They kiss. He then asks if she wants to go and do it in the teacher's lounge. Now, meanwhile, back at the loft, Winston, Jess, and Nick, they watch along as Ferguson is now licking Schmidt's nipples as he sleeps. And something is definitely coming out.
This doubling down on the lactation for Schmidt is wild. So funny, this show,
nuts.
Man.
We'll be right back. And here we go. Hey, Hannah. I think it's time for a little mess around.
I realize I said there was 2 behind the scenes moments that happened in the office. One of them was me getting this tip to how to tone my arms, which 7 minutes was too hard for me. But the other one was, and I was rewatching the episode, and my eyes look really like glassy in those office scenes a lot. And it wasn't like, why would Cece be crying? But my eyes look really glassy. And I remembered, I won't go, too far into it, but I remembered my mom was sick and my mom wasn't well. And she, lives on the other side of the world. And I was doing everything to try to get her help and in with the best doctors. And it was a bit of a scramble for our family. And I was working. And so I kept running off into an office, anyone's office that we weren't using, wasn't being used to shoot, closing the door and calling, hospitals in London and doctors and trying to figure it out. And then racing back out there to shoot this, these bits of these scenes as they were putting it together. And I remembered it when I was watching it. I was like, that's why I was really overwhelmed and emotional in my real life. And it's that thing with acting where there's a lot of downtime between setups, relighting, moving things around. And we have real lives, we have real lives that are happening. It doesn't just like stop because the work days are so long. You could be a 17-hour day. So you still have to manage your real life things.
Yeah.
And you have to somehow be able to just like turn it off, turn it back on. That's one of like these skills that they don't really teach you in acting school, right? They teach you how to turn it on and get into character, but then you got to go take a call, and my character isn't upset in the scene, but in real life, there were some things that couldn't wait for one more day. And so I saw that. I could see it in my own eyes. I was like, wow. I was like, I remember that day really clearly. And then I remember intentionally not telling anybody because it would probably just make me cry more. And so that's how I got into that conversation with Ava. I was just like, girl, tell me anything. How'd you get your arm so good? And she gave me that tip. And it's so funny after how many years, I still remember what it was. But that was my other behind the scenes thing, those real life things that you deal with, and learning how to manage that. And I was really lucky by that point. At least we were in season 3 and we were all family at that point and really forgiving and could give people time or a second if they needed it because they all knew we had, lives going on.
Yeah, I think it was around that time where I was trying to get Brenda Song to go on a date with me.
In real life?
In real life.
And?
It did not happen. We hung out. We hung out as friends. She let me know quickly. Oh, we're just homies. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Both going through some hard things. You got friend zoned.
I got friend zoned quickly by Brenda Song. We're going to have her on the episode, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why did you reject me?
The whole episode, you guys.
I got a few reasons why. Okay, so... so the topic on this one, what's the proper protocol when dealing with a pet during a breakup? I don't know because I've never had a pet.
Oh, I've had pets with people.
So what do you do?
Well, there was no protocol because the one cat I had at the time, Jake, that cat I had the longest, I had it for like 18 years, was so violent and hospitalized several people. Nobody tried to ever take him. They're like, bye to you and your crazy cat.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I never really had to exercise any protocol, but I will say I can't see with the level I love animals. There's no way. I'll take you to court if you would try to take my pet. I don't split in custody with my animals either. This is my pet.
That's silly.
It's my cat.
Silly.
It's my iguana. Back off.
You had an iguana?
I did have an iguana. His name was Dead Meat.
Is he dead meat now?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. You gotta call him alive and well next time. call that man minced meat. You know what you mean, spaghetti. You better. The power of the tongue. Okay. Go deep into your past.
Uh-huh.
Ever show up to a party only to find out that at the party were 2 people you were talking to?
2 people that I was trying to get it with at the same time were both at this party. No, because I don't roll like that. No, absolutely not.
A bunch of times that has happened. A bunch of times where I'm like, how am I going to pull this off? And then the moment you see both or 3 or 4, you go, well, I ain't getting, that's going to be a dry night for me. It's going to be very boring. Because let's just.
That's what I'm saying. It's exhausting. You start adding more people. It does not become more easy or more fun. It's just exhausting.
I'll tell you one time it happened. I was talking to one lovely young lady, and we'd hung out already, gone on a date, and seen her in a while. I'm at this party where another young lady that I see first is somebody who I knew from IG. We'd only DM'd each other, if that. And then we started talking. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Then the other girl who I had gone on a date with previous shows up. And so now at this party, I'm trying to bounce back and forth, just kind of how Schmidt was doing. But it's not my party. So I'm just there. And I'm trying to have people run interference for me and blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, they're both, because I keep bouncing around, disappearing, they're both talking to other guys now. And they both kind of maybe figured out what I was on that day. And it was an accident. I didn't know they were going to be at the same party. And I'm single. So, I ended up screwing it up so bad that both of them, spent their time with another gentleman caller.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that kind of makes sense because you can't fully be with somebody if you have to go and be somewhere else. So if you're only giving someone half your time and attention, they're going to be like, this is not the business.
Right. But also I have a problem with those moments too, when I'm at parties and you see somebody you like and you want to talk to them. Like, I don't want to crowd their space either, because they still are. The idea that, oh, you came to this party and then within the first 10 minutes, you got to talk to me for the rest of the night, which I don't know is like, was their intention. So I kind of also, that's just my energy. I like to plant a seed and then leave and then continuously check back in just so we're on the same page. But it never really works out. But because I'm trying to be conscious of their time.
But is that a projection? Is that because you hope that that's how someone would do it for you, so they don't just like glom onto you the whole party? So you're treating them how you want to be treated? Let me tell you, you need to learn to glom. So
just hang around.
That's right.
I didn't know women like that. I thought you guys hated that.
I speak on behalf of all women that are like
hang
me.
Around. Breathe down her neck.
Oh, I love a hanger. Well, at least I know you're interested and you're into me and only me because you're not running around talking to everybody else.
I guess that's true. God damn it. As I sit here alone in my room, just me and my Emmy.
Just me and Emmy.
I think about all the missed opportunities I had. Anyway.
Girls named Emmy or Emma slide into Lamorne's DMs.
Please
He's got a type.
Because I'm gonna accidentally call you Emmy. Name may as well be Emmy.
How crazy if that was not a joke. It would be the funniest thing if that's all of a sudden what started to happen in your uninhibited moments.
I gotta make some Emmys.
I can't. That'd be such a funny bit. I could see it in a show for sure. Some guy who like wins his first Emmy or Oscar, and all of a sudden that's what just comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay.
So funny.
We need a Ferguson story. What's the best one you got, Lamorne? Okay. Ferguson story. It's not a great story, but it's the inception of my uncomfort around Ferguson for the beginning of the because I ended up becoming really good friends with him. We still talk. But in the beginning, he had, they don't I don't know what they do with their nails, but he would scratch me a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot. And it became such a thing. Like my hands, I still have scars on my hands from when he would just scratch my hand. And so they decided they were going to put rubber tips on his nails.
Oh, yeah. Those soft gels.
And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. But he always seemed to be uncomfortable. And then they were like, yeah, we put him on for the shoot because we know that he scratches and, And I was like, is it painful to him? They were like, it's a little uncomfortable. And I was like, just take him off. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine. And I remember them taking the tips off of him and he never scratched me again.
Huh.
Not once. Not once did he scratch me again. I was just still wildly allergic. And so
maybe you were kind of like his hero in that point. He's like, man, that man saved me from that crazy stuff those other people were just doing to me.
Yeah.
Maybe he knew.
Yeah, don't put rubber tips on these cats, people.
No.
Don't do it. Let them be cats. Let them scratch chunks of meat out of your thigh. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for listening to another episode of The Mess Around. Make sure you follow us on IG at The Mess Around Pod. Hannah, next week, what we got?
Double Date. Great episode. Super fun one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And please make sure to go ahead and cop one of these awesome caps, hoodies, sweatshirts. We're now making do-rags and the Mess Around gold grills. We got it all, folks.
We might have hacky sacks for sale soon. You never know. We're diversifying our portfolios.
And show us your best Mess Around tattoos. So for all those folks out there getting the Mess Around tattoos, send us your photos, please. And the next one you get, Hannah will pay for it.
It's a teeny one.
Well, it's going to be a small one. $40.
Yeah, the ones you can like wash off at the end of the night. Stickers. Ooh, mess around tattoo stickers, by the way. We should sell at our website. That'd be super fun.
Put them little neck tattoos.
That's right. Yeah. Just full jelly roll. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye. That was The Mess Around. This has been an iHeartMedia production. Our executive producer is Joelle Monique. Our engineer and editor is Mia Taylor. Additional production from Daniel Goodman, Wendy Heisler, and Kyle Chevron. Our theme song was written and composed by Ronald Jukebox Jackson. So we're going to catch you next time. Bye.